bought another one. Why? Because I can. That's why. Let's go. What's up, guys? Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, show a little love. Consider donating to the channel because I do a lot of cool things and I like to have my back scratched as much as I like to scratch everyone else's. I want to talk about the difference between these two bikes today because there are some little radical differences. They almost look identical, but let's talk about that. This is a 2021 Hawk RPS 250 and that is a 2025 Hawk DLX 250. So this is the base model, that is the deluxe version. They are both 5-speed bikes. They're almost identical, except there's a few differences here, and we're going to talk about those. So as you can see, this one has standard Hawk written on it, which I've done a ton of work to this one. So this one is my personal touch. As you can see, I've de-stickered it. I did the same thing with that. I'm actually going to remove X-Pro off the seat. I'll make a whole video separately just how to remove the white stuff to keep the seat. This one I put a cover on. That one I don't think I'm going to put a cover on. I think I'm going to leave that seat without a cover. This one definitely has the cover. I did the whole custom sticker set, everything. But let's look at the differences here. Exhaust looks identical, except as you can see on that one, there is an O2 sensor drilled into it, which means one of these is fuel injected and one of them is carbureted. So the 2025 is fuel injected, so it has an O2 sensor. As you can see, completely different throttle body setup. There's an injector in there. You can see it's got a fuel injector. It's got a whole bunch of different stuff in there. This is much newer technology, obviously. And then you come over here and you end up with an old base model carburetor. Now, in my opinion, carburetor is the best way to go because there's a lot more modifications that can be done to the carbureted versions versus the fuel injection. However, if you're looking for reliability, that's going to be your go-to. Now, pay attention because there are some huge differences now. Now that I'm going to start pointing them out, you're going to notice them. Shocks. Basic shocks. Not bad for base model shocks. Me and my girlfriend ride 2-up on this thing. It actually is pretty pleasant. But here are reverse shocks. These are a much more aggressive shock system. Bigger shocks, better shocks, upside down. You can see the reverse shocks. So these are definitely a huge upgrade on the shocks. This can take a lot more punishment for hardcore trail riding than these can. These are pretty basic shocks on this, but they do very, very well. Don't let me sit here and tell you they don't. They do very, very well. Another big difference. So you got fuel injected, carbureted. Upgrade shocks on the DLX, base model shocks. Here's the biggest one of all. This one's my favorite. Turn this on, bam, completely digital dash with tachometer. This one only has just under 700 miles on it. This one has like 1,300 some odd miles on it. But if you'll notice, all it has is a speedometer, a gas gauge, and then your basic functionality, and no tachometer. So you don't actually know how high you're pulling this thing up in the gears. Both of these are great machines. They will both, this one actually is slower. The fuel injected version only goes like 68 miles per hour. This one, however, goes like 75 miles per hour because I've tuned it and it's got an upgrade chain and a whole bunch of other stuff. And this, like I said, you can do a lot more to the carbureted versions than you can the fuel injected versions. These, in my opinion, are the go-to if you want to modify and get the most out of it. But if you're looking for reliability and better punishment out of the box, that's going to be your go-to. However, you can upgrade that shock system on these, and you can order that kit. You can do it yourself. This is the same chassis on this that is on that. So you can actually put the same shock system that's on there on here if you want to, and upgrade the carbureted version yourself. But as you can see, these are nowhere near as strong as those are. Those are just much, much, much more aggressive shocks on that thing. So fuel injected, carbureted, low grade shocks, high grade shocks, updated cluster, old school cluster. That is really the differences between these. It is not very extensive. It's not very much. Everything else is almost the same. And I think that one actually might be the counterbalanced engine and this one is not. I could be wrong about that, but I think that has the newer model, slightly altered engine for counterbalance. I would have to look into that. Don't quote me on that. You can do your own research if you need to. I bought one of each. So now I have a carbureted and I have a fuel injected, because why not, right? Have both. So we have both. I'm going to be doing about the same sticker setup on that, but I'm doing that in blue. This one is going to remain red. I'm going to upgrade the clips, the grips, the mirrors, all of it. The master cylinder, same thing is happening on this one. I also noticed that the breather tube is gone. So I will have to order a blue breather tube for that one, like I did with this one. There's just some little things that are annoyances. They both have great functionality, and I will tell you, with the upgraded shocks, this one rides higher, this one rides lower. This is definitely a higher sitting bike. A lot of that has to do with the aggressiveness of these tires. These are much larger tires than what I have on here. These are the Shinko Trailmasters. The rim is the same size, but the tire profile on that one is much more aggressive, and that's a much taller tire. So these are not nearly as tall as those ones back there. Those are much taller tires. So this is more for street use and a little bit of trail. The tires on that are more for trail use, less street, but can be street worthy, right? If that makes any sense. So same chains, same shocks on the rear, everything else is the same pretty much across the board. So there you go. I do believe the headlight switch was the only upgrade on this one. This one has blackout mode, and I haven't tested to see this one you can turn the headlights and taillights completely off on this one. This one has blackout mode. I don't know if this one allows blackout mode. It says off. I think it says off. You may, let's see here. If I turn those on, oh yes I can. I 100% can. This one still has complete backout mode. It has stealth mode. So if you want to turn them off, you can do that. That's a bit crazy to me that they allow that here in the US, but it is what it is. So there you go. That is the differences between the Hawk DLX. You can just see the size difference from here. I mean, one sits way taller than the other one. So there's just a much more aggressive profile on the Deluxe than the standard Hawk. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to make that for you. I've got more videos coming for this guy here. I think I've pretty much wrapped up that one, just because I've done just about everything you can to it that I really want to do. It looks great. It's a fantastic bike. This one's up next. We're going to do a lot more discussion about this particular version. Now that I have the fuel injected version, I am going to change that chain, because that looks like garbage compared to a high quality chain like that. That chain is very low grade in comparison. So probably definitely going to be doing a chain upgrade. This one looks, man, it looks so cheap in comparison to what I put on this guy. This is just a much better chain all the way around. So we're definitely going to be doing the chain upgrade. So anyways, yep. There you go, the Hawk Deluxe, fuel injected, the Hawk base model, carbureted. Cheers.